Okay, this is going to be a quick intro to Instructure Canvas, which is a Phase Zero like assignment application online, as well as our GitHub that we'll be using for this course. So, as you know, we'll be doing this at 2x speed, and we won't be submitting our work through the Canvas application. That's really important to stress. All of our work is going to be going directly through the GitHub account, and we'll never be submitting anything in the actual Canvas application. So just to show you how this is going to work, you can come here. The website is Instructure. I'm sorry, no. Is it devbootcamp.instructure.com? And that's the actual campus website, which brings you to this login page. Your corresponding staff member should have shared their login credentials with you. I'm going to be Hunter at Bootcamp, and I'll log in. And this is what your main dashboard is going to look like. Either you've probably saved your login information here in Chrome so that you can just navigate right to this devbootcamp.instructure.com and come to this page. So when we open up Foundations here, we're going to, so all of our staff accounts are not for, they're for like auditing this course, but not for actually making submissions, hence like the extra little bit that we're going to be doing here. And that's no big deal. But you can like click on modules here and we can see all the things which are coming up. They're broken down into the weeks. And let's say, for instance, that we were working on let's say challenge 1.4 down here. So we click on challenge 1.4 and it's got some stuff that we need to read, some excellent graphics drawn out by Jen Gilbert, yay, and then some instructions on different things that we'll need to do in order to try out the challenge. For the most part, you'll be able to just follow along with the instructions here and do what it is that they're telling you. The difference is going to come in anytime it asks you to submit something, which this one doesn't. Let's try maybe the next one. Down. Well, so I should have found one before I started, but oh well. So there might be like a submission thing down here at the bottom. It might be like if you're taking a quiz, for instance. We could just look at that. Courses, foundations, modules. So here's a quiz. So rather than like submitting the quiz, so you go to preview. Here we go, it's loading up. And you see it says this is a preview of a published quiz, right? So we can take the quiz here, but we won't actually be submitting it at the bottom. Go all the way down. And here it says submit quiz, right? So what we can do instead is we could have like filled out all these things. And when we're done with the page, we can just come up here and we go to print. And we can choose the destination under change. we can hit save as PDF, and this is going to save our quiz with our answers selected as a PDF. So we'll save that up, and I'll just put it on the desktop for now. I'll leave this name, that seems fine. So you still need some way of submitting this, even though we're not going through the actual submission process on Canvas rather. And the way that we're going to do that is via GitHub. So you'll be using Git a lot as a developer, and I just want to take a few minutes to touch briefly on some introductions for it. So our GitHub repository for this I guess phase 0 track that we're doing is at github.com/bootcoder/phase-0-tracks. I'll put that in here so you can see it. When you navigate to that page, you may see this if you're not logged in. So you need to be logged in. It's a private repo, so you have to be logged in order to see it. And here it is. So there's lots of folders here: CSS, databases, HTML. This is what your standard Git repo looks like. There may be a bunch of text down here under the README, which we just haven't added yet. And this is pretty much an exact duplicate of the Phase 0 Tracks GitHub that regular students would use, with one addition: the submissions folder here. So this is the place where you'll be making all of your, instead of making your submissions on Canvas, right? You'll be making all of your submissions to this folder. So we just want to cover really quickly how you'll go about doing that. So some basics of Git. The first thing you want to do is get this thing down locally on your machine. So we can go to clone or download here, click it, and then copy this address. Boom, there we go. And then we'll go to our terminal. I'm using iterm2, but you can use whatever you like. I'm going to navigate to my desktop, which is at ~/desktop. And what I'm going to do is clone the repository down to my computer. This is going to make a local copy on my computer of everything that's in that repository. So the command for that is git clone, and then you paste in the thing that you copied. And it's going to say, yeah, we're getting the thing, we're decompressing it, we're bringing everything down, everything's all done. So if we use the command ls now, we can see that we've got this Phase 0 tracks now on our desktop. We can cd into that, and ls again, and we see that we've got the exact same folder structure as what we had online, including the submissions folder. So everything that we saw there is now residing locally on our machine, and for me, it's just here on my desktop. And that's okay for now. But later in life, we'll want to make like a dedicated place to keep all of our Git repositories and what have you. But at this point, just keeping it on the desktop is going to be a-okay. We can open this in our editor. If you have Sublime installed, we'll do sub-l space dot. This will open all files in the current directory and all subfolders within that directory and an instance of the Sublime text editor. Here we go. So if we open up submissions, come on computer, you can do it. We've got all these different folders here, right, for the different weeks of the program. Now each one of these will be going, we're keeping the same week architecture, even though your week 0 and week 1 will be just week 1, right? Because we're doing it at 2x speed. So really this is like week, 0 through 0.5, and this is like week 0.5 through 1. But you get the point, hopefully. So, if we were, say, turning in that quiz, what we'd want to do, we can come back over here to the terminal. If we want to open this up, I'm not going to get into how to move things around with the command line. That seems a bit advanced for this talk. But we can open up a GUI of the file management system on our Macs. we can just use the same thing with open space dot. And that's going to open up the Finder with that window. And now if I went to my desktop and I grabbed, oh, where was it? Yep, somewhere here. I definitely saved it here. Crap. Ah, there it is. Quiz handbook. So, maybe just if we had done this in the opposite order, where it already had the phase 0 tracks column down, instead of moving this thing over into there, I would have probably just saved the PDF directly from the browser into the appropriate folder within the phase 0 tracks, right? And you know what? Actually, let's do that. We'll delete this out. We're going to go back to our browser, and we'll go back to the Canvas website, and I'm just going to reprint this thing as a PDF. But this time, I'm going to choose, I'll navigate down here to phase 0 tracks, and I'll go to submissions, I'll go to week 0, it's my week 0 quiz, probably like a good naming convention would be an excellent thing for you to get down on. I'm going to say like your name, Allie, and then week 0 dash quiz, right? Something along those lines. And I hit save. And so we've just printed this page as a PDF into that folder. Now here's where Git really comes into play. If we come back over to our terminal, which we're still in the phase 0 tracks folder, and we run git status, it's going to tell us that we've got this new file, submissions week 0 Allie week 0 quiz.pdf. And you know, it's just noticed that this new file is included somewhere within our repository, and we want to do something with it. So another part of Git that we need to talk about before we move on is branching. So currently we're on the master branch. As we can see here, your terminal, it's worth noting, may or may not look like mine, probably not. Mine displays the currently active branch anytime I'm in a Git repository. So we never really want to work on master. That's pretty much a Git faux pas. So you should always be working on a branch of your own. And for the purposes of this course, we actually want you to, right off the bat, make a branch. Like one of the absolute first things you'll do, make a branch for yourself. So we say git co for checkout, -b to make a new branch, and then like your name. So like if I did, well, I'll just do Hunter here. There we go. I'm going to keep it all lowercase for simplicity's sake. And really, I want you working off of your specifically named branch all the time, as the root branch, that is. So like I would never go back to this master here. I would always stay on Hunter. And what this means is that other people will be working within the same repository on their named branches, but because they're working on a branch and you're working on a branch, like the two submissions will never collide because those branches haven't been merged together, and they won't be. So all my work here now will be like sanitary and clean and just mine. So like this would be my starting point any day that I was coming in and getting going. In this case, okay, this out. If I was working on this week 0 stuff, you know, maybe I might check out to a branch called, you know, week 0. And I'll be working on the week 0 branch. So just so that, you know, in case it's not clear, right? Like we went from the master branch to the Hunter branch and then to the week 0 branch. So week 0 is a sub branch of Hunter. and hunter is a sub branch of master. So what we call, we'll say that like the named branch, or your name, is sort of like your top level branch, and then every time you make a branch off of that, that's going to be what we refer to as a feature branch. So week 0 here is my feature branch, and I'm going to say get add dot. This is saying add everything that's in the current folder or lower that hasn't been added to Git, add it in. The dot here is always like everything or lower. So you've seen us use that several times. If I get status again, we can see now that it's changed. Instead of untracked files, now it says, okay, changes to be committed. This new file, it's ready to be committed. So now Git knows about it. But the next thing is, just having Git know about it doesn't actually do anything. We also have to have Git, we have to make a commit. A commit is taking a snapshot in time and space of what a particular file or code base is doing at this moment. So whenever we commit, everything which is currently being tracked by Git is going to be included in that commit. And it'll like lock it in as this version at this moment. And then we keep working and we make more commits down the road. You'll learn more about this as you get into the things. This is sort of just a real sort of crash course around that. So we'll say git commit, and we'll give it the flag -m for message. It needs to be in a string, single quoted usually. And we'll say complete week 1, week 0, quit. Why am I? Okay. There we go. And when we hit return, it says, okay, one file changed, some insertions, no deletions, created this thing. Now if we go to get status, again, it says, hey, we're clean, there's nothing to commit, we're working in a clean directory. So we've now committed our work. It's in Git, it's tracked, it's ready to be uploaded. Now, Git works on your local machine, and that's what we've done here is we've added this quiz PDF to our Git repository on our local machine, but we also we want to be able to share this with other people, specifically with your Phase 0 guide for grading and what have you. So we'll need to push this up to the GitHub website. And so what we can do is we can just say git push origin. Origin is the name of the place that we're going. The default is always going to be origin. You can call this other things down the road, but don't worry about that. Git push origin, and then we need to give it the name of the branch that we want to push up, which is usually going to be the one that we're working on right now. So we're working on our week 0 feature branch. So we're going to say week 0. And up it goes. So you can see here that Git says that it pushed these things up to Phase 0 tracks website. And if we go back and we take a look at that now, hey, GitHub has informed me that less than a minute ago, someone pushed week 0. So now if I click branches here, maybe, refresh. I expected there to be 2 branches here, and there is, yeah. Like debugging rule number 2 is, refresh the browser, or have you tried turning it off and on again, right? You're gonna do that a lot. So we click on week 0, and it has like an extra commit here, where the other, the master branch only had 1 commit. This has 2. And if we click down into submissions and week 0, Alley week 0 quiz, it's there. So now this is online. It's good to go. I should have, sorry, I did this a bit out of order. So if we wanted to check out back to our, we use the -B whenever we want to make a new branch. Let me K this out, right? if we want to check out to an existing branch, we just use CO, just check out regular, like so. And it says switch to branch hunter, as opposed to switch to, right, if I do COB new branch, see switch to new branch, right? So git checkout hunter. And then, let's see. Let's see. That was a quiz. There's going to be other things that you'll need to submit off of the Canvas site as well. Not everything will be something that you print as a PDF. So you'll have to sort of do some figuring as to what the best case scenario is. But again, I want to remind you, we're never submitting anything through this website. 100% of the submissions for the phase 0 portion of this course need to be done through the GitHub, right? So going to phase 0 tracks, getting into submissions, and inputting your work, and then uploading it. The next thing I want to teach you is how to make a pull request. So that's like making a collection of all your work visible as a whole. So a number of commits, right? We showed how we added the thing just as one commit, but what if I've got like a whole week's worth of work and I want to make a pull request? I want to sort of like submit all that work for the week. So you can disregard this part. I need to make a test something here so that I'll actually have the branch live. So let's say, let's touch, actually I've already got Sublime open, don't I? Yeah, there we go. With no readme, so let's touch a readme. Touch, which is the command to make a file in bash, the terminal. Touch readme.md. And I think my first file here is going to be, this is Hunter's branch. We'll make that really big. There we go. Great. Oh crap. I forgot to put it in the actual file. There we go. Boop. Save. Go away. Okay, terrific. So wash, rinse, repeat over here. If I get status, I can see there's an extra file here, readme. I'm going to git add dot. You don't have to use the dot. You can also be very specific. So I can say REA and like tab this out. I can only add just the one file if I so desire. The dot is like is adding everything here and below. I get status again. I'm just doing all the statuses for your benefit. You don't actually have to run that command on the regular. So yeah, we see the new file, and then git commit -m, like made my new readme. Cool. Git push origin hunter. Terrific. Back out to GitHub now. And so we're if we were just at the root of this, right, we can see both of the things got pushed up now. We're never going to merge our named branches back to master, but we will be merging our feature branches back into our named branches on a regular basis. This is, at least as I'm thinking of it now, like how you'll do your weekly submissions of work. So let's say that this was everything in week 0 that I needed to submit. I go to compare and pull request. I'm really crossing my fingers that this doesn't have a conflict because I created it out of order, which I totally did. Just yeah, as a note, right? Like you'd want to create something in your named branch before you get started on any of the other stuff. And just a README like I just made is really all you need. But all right, complete 0 quiz, and then really important to check these 2 boxes up here. This is where we're merging our changes to and where we're merging our changes from, right? So we want to merge to Hunter, and we want to merge from week 0. And you'll either get this green checkbox, able to merge, or you'll get like a big error thing that says it's unable to merge for some reason. If you get the big error thing, might be a good idea to contact an instructor or a guide, as we can just quickly work you through that. When we create this pull request, the pull request is going to be a collection of all the commits and all the code that has not yet been merged into that parent branch from the child branch. So we click create, and we've got 3 sections here: conversation, commits, and files changed. So if someone's like giving you a review on this, it'll fall under conversation. The commits will be the total number of commits that are included that you're wanting to bring up. Now in our case, for sample purposes, we just have the 1, but like this is most likely going to be quite a few here. You know, like 1 commit per challenge is probably a pretty good rule of thumb. You know, like complete, you know, essay assignment or some shit like that, right? Just a side note to set good practices right off the bat: good commit messages are always done in the present tense. You know, it's not past tense, completed, right? It's complete week 0 quiz. And as you get larger and larger commit histories, you'll see why that is. And then the last tab here is files changed. Unfortunately, if these were text files like actual code, we would see the actual code in here. But unfortunately, this is a PDF. A PDF is like an encrypted document, so it doesn't actually show it, right? Binary file not shown. It's like I'm not showing you 10,000 lines of code as to what changed. But it does say that, yeah, this file got added. And the last thing I want to say about pull request is you open the pull request. Generally speaking in code, you never merge your own pull request. So the way that this works is I've got this like collection of, here, let's do this so we can have some actual code. I'm going to check back out to my week 0. Whoops. Git checkout week 0. And in submissions, let's touch submissions week 0. Let's do like code.rb, great, and now code.rb, oh, how about some Ruby code? Do I have just a bunch floating around somewhere? I don't. Okay, let's do if thing, you know, puts what an awesome thing. Yay. Okay. And then up here we'll say, just to make this like actual functional, thing true. There we go. Alright, so there's some actual code. Not really, but it'll work. And now we'll go through this process again. So I need to git add dot, and then git commit -m add code to print thing, and git push origin week 0. So what's really cool about a pull request is as long as it's open, changes to that branch will still be added to that pull request. So if I refresh this page now, I've got 2 commits on my complete week 0 quiz pull request. And now if I go back to files changed, I actually see, yeah, the code that I just wrote is here as part of the files that got changed. So what I was saying is that you never merge your own pull request. You know, this is going to be the responsibility of your Phase 0 guide or an instructor. So we want to be able to come and open these pull requests up and have a single place where we can look at all the code that you submitted over the course of the week, and sort of like review it in one big place, and then we'll merge it in for you. We'll either merge it in or we'll come in here and we'll make comments on it and things like that. It'll be like, if thing, like, that's a terrible variable name. Sad. Oh, I so need like a Trump tweet emoji. And I could like add this comment in. I'll finish my review. Yes, great. And now back over conversation. Now it shows like the comments that I made. So the pull request is really useful for you because it'll give you a place to see comments that have been made on all the code that you're making the pull request on, just like it gives us a single place to take a look at all that code. Right? And then, let's say I was the instructor and I was all commented in, then I'd merge this pull request and it would go away. It would still be like we could go back and access it, but it would no longer be an active pull request as listed up here in the pull request tab of the repository. So you're gonna have assignments like submitting sort of like reflection essays. You're gonna have assignments like submitting code or taking some screenshots of quizzes or printing PDFs, right? Like no matter what it is that's going over in the Instructure Canvas website, this part, right? We're never submitting anything over here. We're always like creating the appropriate thing in the submissions folder in our specific branch and then uploading it to GitHub. And if this video hasn't been clear or if you have questions, hopefully you wrote them down, and I would encourage you to talk to Peter about them so that you can get a little bit more clarity around that. So I'm just going to type out the commands here again. It's git checkout for, actually I'll do this in Sublime. Git checkout is a new branch. Is switch to a branch. And git checkout -b is switch to a new branch. Git status displays current status of files. Git commit -m your message makes a commit. Git add dot adds all current files to tracking. I'll move that one up one. Yeah, there we go. And finally, git push. Origin branch name sends your changes to GitHub. So these are all the commands that you'll be using right off the bat at the command line for interacting with Git. Should be pretty straightforward for you. And yeah, I think we're good. All right. Happy hacking. Work really hard. This is going to be great.